Marseillaise. Played. Hello, the
Casablanca is one of the most iconic films of all time, filmed with unforgettable characters, memorable lines, and powerful moments. However, one scene stands out in particular for its emotional depth and thematic significance, which is the moment in Rick's cafe where the patrons sing La Marseillaise, which is the French national anthem, in defiance of Nazi presence. We'll analyze why this scene is so impactful, using music as a form of warfare, and what it reveals about the film's themes and Rick Blaine as a character. The story of Casablanca is set during World War II in the unoccupied French territory of Morocco, which is a place where refugees sought to escape to freedom. Rick's Cafe serves as an example of this tension, as this place is where Nazis, Vichy collaborators, and refugees gather in uneasy proximity. The tension reaches a breaking point when a group of Nazis begin to obnoxiously sing Die Wacht am Rhein. It's a loud, commanding, and unopposed song at first, but then Victor Laszlo, a Czech resistance leader and symbol of defiance, takes charge and instructs the cafe's band to play La Marseillaise. At this moment, Rick gives a nod of allowance, permitting for the band to drown out the German voices. As La Marseillaise begins, the patrons, who are made up of all different nationalities, hesitate but eventually band together. The volume grows, their faces fill with determination and emotion. When the song ends, the cafe is united in cheers and applause of the anthem. This moment goes beyond the story itself. It's symbolic of resistance, courage, and the human spirit in the face of oppression. It shows that only with cooperation we can overcome tyranny. This scene is especially poignant because many of the extras singing La Marseillaise were refugees from France. Their emotions were sincere, as their home had actually been invaded and taken over by Nazis, and they didn't know what the fate of their country was. Their tears and passion weren't just performance, they were deeply personal. The La Marseillaise scene emphasizes one of Casablanca's central themes, which is the moral importance to resist tyranny. La Marseillaise signals a shift in that tension, reminding the characters and the audience that neutrality isn't sustainable in the face of moral crisis. The song becomes a moment of collective awakening for the disheartened characters, where their fears are overcome by a shared purpose. In this scene, we learn a lot about Ilsa's character. She had initially started dating Rick after hearing that her husband had been killed in a concentration camp. While the Nazis were about to march into Paris, Ilsa learned that Victor was not dead and in fact had escaped the concentration camp. She knew she had to go find him, so she decides to leave Rick without telling him, because she knows that if she sees him again, she won't be able to leave him due to her love for him. She knows the right thing to do is to be with her husband, but she also loves Rick. This idea touches upon another central message of the film, which is that one's moral obligations should come before their personal desires. The short scene where the camera focuses on Ilsa illustrates that she sees the value in the noble cause that Victor fights for, and why she ultimately needs to be with him. She recognizes his bravery and charisma that made her fall in love with him in the first place. In seeing how Victor causes the people to fight and stand up against the Nazis, Ilsa starts knowing deep down that being with Victor is what her moral obligation is. In the previous scene, Rick doesn't give the letter of transit because
problems of the world are not in my department.
After seeing the battle between two ideological adversaries in his own cafe, with the combined strength of the refugees standing up to the Nazi forces, he realizes that he can't ignore what is happening forever and decides to join in on the side of the Allies. Rick's decision to act for the greater good shows his transformation as he sacrifices his own desires by giving Victor and Ilsa the letters of transit after seeing what Laszlo represents to the people and the hope he instills in them. It's also worth noting that through a nod, Rick allows Victor to command the band. This is a rare moment where Rick gives up control in his own establishment, showing that Rick is beginning to open himself to the cause of resistance, even if he doesn't realize it yet. The intended audience is able to see themselves through Rick in America, as both Rick and the United States knew what the right thing to do was, but stalled for their own reasons until they were stirred into action. The La Marseillaise scene is more than just a musical moment in Casablanca. It teaches us that even in the face of overwhelming odds, the human spirit can rise. It is the emotional heart of the film and emphasizes its themes of resistance and moral responsibility, and is a turning point for Rick Blaine's character. It reminds us of the power of unity and the importance of defying injustice both in the world of Casablanca and in our own.